Reagan.
And I'm Anika.
And welcome to this year's first edition of TJE News. In this episode, we will be speaking with Mrs. Maragoni and see what she's done new with this year's library.
She's added a ton of new books. I'm really excited to read as many as I can. We'll also meet one of our new teacher teams at Theodore Judah, Miss Bright and Miss Garianti, and talk with a couple of their first grade students.
They seem really excited to have them as teachers. Next, we'll interview Coach James and see what plans he has for the 5th graders to get fit and be ready for the state fitness tests at the end of this year.
Wait, we have state fitness tests this year? Good thing I've been working extra hard at soccer practice and going on walks. And finally, we'll interview our very own Teddy J. Cougar about this year's Cougar Chase. All the donations that come in directly benefit our school, and kids can win a lot of cool prizes. Speaking of Teddy J. Cougar, on what day are cougars allowed to eat people?
I don't know. Every day?
No, only on Tuesday. Get it?
That's funny. Now, let's start our show and go to Adia to report on all that's new with this year's awesome library at TJE.
Hi, I'm Adia, and I'm here in the library with Mrs. M. Today, I'll be interviewing you about the new changes at our library. Okay, to begin with, how many new titles have we got?
Oh, we have so many. So the PTO gave us some money at the end of last year, and we were able to order about 160 new books for fiction and nonfiction. And then we set up a Ruby's wish list, and we've already gotten about 50 books from that wish list.
For the Ruby's wish list, do you have to go all the way to the store to get the books?
You don't have to. You can go there and they have our list, but you can also shop online. So if you go on the Theodore Judah website to the library page, we've got a link and they will make sure the books get to us.
That's great. A lot of my friends have been asking about the book fair. Do you know when it is?
I do. So we're going to have 2 book fairs this year. We're going to have one December 6th through 13th, and then we'll have our regular fair in the spring.
That's great. Finally, this is a really important question. How do we take care of our books so that they stay in good shape?
Good question. So one of the things I sometimes see kids doing is dog-earing the pages and to save your place, and that's not the best way to save your spot. I would suggest getting a Post-it or a little scrap of paper, or just come by the library to grab a bookmark, and that way the book will last longer for other students.
Thank you. Now, back to the studio.
Wow, I love the library.
So do I. Now Satvika will be interviewing Miss Bright and Miss Garianti and some of their students.
Hi, my name is Satvika, and I'm here with Mrs. Bright and Mrs. Garianti. So, Miss Bright, I heard that this is your first year teaching at Theodore Judah. What inspired you to become a teacher?
Well, I taught preschool for about 6 years, and I really enjoyed it, so that made me want to keep teaching.
What's your favorite thing about teaching?
I like being with my students and getting to know them and making connections with them.
What are your hobbies?
I love to read and I love to travel.
I love reading too, and traveling sounds really fun. Now, Mrs. Garianti, how long have you been teaching and at which schools?
I have been teaching for over 20 years, and I have taught at most every school in the entire Folsom Cordova Unified School District. Most recently, I have taught here at Theodore Judah, and before that, Oak Chan and Empire Oaks.
That's a lot of schools.
Yes.
Now, what do you want the first graders to accomplish by the end of the year?
I would like all of my first graders to be able to read by the end of the year.
What do you like to do outside of school?
I love to cook, and I bake cookies, and I love to play golf.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Now I'll be interviewing a few of their first grade students. Hi, what are your names?
Tiziano,
Mohammed.
Wesley, Dakota.
Those are some nice names. What do you like about first grade so far?
Learning subtraction and times and plus.
I love science. Lunch.
Times.
That's nice. What do you want to be when you grow up?
A baker.
A police officer. Veterinarian.
A vet.
Those are some interesting jobs. Now, lastly, what do you want to get done by the end of the year?
Well, I want a party. I want to graduate. I want to have 5 parties. A party.
Those were some awesome answers. Now back to you in the studio.
The first graders are so cute.
Yeah, they're so funny. Next, Sid will be interviewing Coach James about the state fitness tests.
Hi, I'm Siddhant from TJE News, and today I'll be interviewing Coach James about the 5th grade state fitness test. So, Coach James, what is the state fitness test?
Well, the California Physical Fitness Test is a test that all 5th, 7th, and 9th graders throughout all of California have to take. And those tests get reported to the state, just as your math or your English test scores that you take in the spring.
I'm still curious, what are those tests exactly?
Well, you're tested on aerobic capacity with either the mile test or the pacer test, and we started practicing the mile last week with the 2/5 run with all the 5th graders. You're tested on strength with the sit-up test, abdominal core strength with the sit-up test, and upper body strength with a 3-second count push-up test. Also, your flexibility will be tested.
That sounds really complex. So how do I practice those exercises at home?
That's a great question. With our PE system here, I only get to see the 5th graders once a week, so we can't always be working on our fitness tests. So it's really important that the 5th graders are practicing, or anybody really, can practice their physical fitness at home. You can just go running in the park. And what I would say is time yourself to see how long you can run without stopping. Most everybody made it for about 3 to 5 minutes last week. Okay, now we're going to move that up to 6, move it up to 7. If you're practicing at home to get a 10, 12, even 15 minute of running without stopping, your mile score will be great.
That's some really good information. But I still have one more question. How are you scored based on this time?
Well, with the mile test, a time is submitted. With the push-up test, and you can practice push-ups at home also. We'll do the push-up test in class so people can practice at home. You're scored by just how many push-ups you can do until you just can't do anymore. And same thing with sit-ups. And then the flexibility is a yes or no. Can you reach your hands behind your back? That sort of thing.
Thank you for the information. And back to the studio.
Speaking of PE, I have a joke. Which Star Wars character is the best basketball player?
I don't know.
It's Obi-Wan Kenobi. Get it? Kobe Bryant and Obi-Wan Kenobi from Star Wars.
Oh, now I get it. Next, Lakshmi will be interviewing Teddy J with details about this year's Cougar Chase.
Hi, I'm Lakshmi, and I'm here with our very own Teddy J Cougar to speak about this year's upcoming Cougar Chase. So, Teddy J, let's start with the basics. When is this year's Cougar Chase? He says that this year's Cougar Chase will be on October 16th to 18th during your PE time, but the donations can be collected now. That's great. What is the goal for this year's Cougar Chase? He says that the goal is $20,000, but if everyone just contributes $40, then we will reach our goal. That's really cool. And what is the money used for? He says that the money will go for supplies, new tech for the school clubs, and much more. That sounds really nice. So, Teddy J, I remember there were some prizes last year. Are there any prizes for this year? He said that there are even more prizes this year. Some include gift cards to Lazy Dog, Target, Neo Frozen Yogurt, Palladio, and a merch basket to Leatherbees. But also, everyone that participates will get a Leatherbees gift card.
Wow, that sounds amazing. Teddy J, is there anything else you'd like our viewers to know?
He says yes. If we reach our goal, Principal Johnson will get a blueberry pie to the face. I can't wait for that.
Me neither. So start collecting donations, everyone, starting now through October 18th to help the school have some fun and watch Dr. Johnson get a pie to the face. Now back to you in the studio.
So we each just have to bring in $40 or more as a donation to reach our goal? That's doable.
Totally, and then Principal Johnson will get a blueberry pie to the face. Hey, I wonder how Lena figured out how to speak cat and figured out what those noises mean.
Yeah, I would never be able to learn that language.
Well, that was it for this edition of TJE News. We're